Hello, this video was produced by Maytal Saltoon, Ritika, Babbar, Angie May, and Zoe Pillar, all members of Group S. Today we will be discussing the topic of conflict resolution, which refers to the different forms of strategies and tactics required in facilitating a harmonious ending of a conflict or dispute. The act of conflict resolution encourages the overall well-being of individuals as it promotes a healthy method to overcome an issue in order that any person isn't emotionally or physically affected. In other words, understanding and applying conflict resolution is highly important, as these skills not only apply in the workforce but are applicable in everyday life. There are several theories and processes used to explain how to recognize and manage the possibilities and limits of conflict resolution. For example, community relations theory aims to improve understanding, respect, and teamwork between communities in hope that considerable development can help communities come together to establish a solution towards a conflict that is long-lasting. This theory is advantageous as it acts as a mechanism for bringing about increased self-esteem by strengthening an individual's decision-making and problem-solving skills on issues relevant in daily life, therefore increasing community capability. Whereas principled negotiation theory aims to formulate a win-win solution between parties to deliver mutual gain. This theory is beneficial in terms of learning how to separate people from the issue, concentrate on interests, not positions, produce chances for mutual gain, and implement objective standards to judge outcomes. These theories of practice offer an effective guide for practitioners to establish a positive and strong conflict resolution initiative. However, the theory chosen for our presentation is community relations theory. The reason for this decision stems from the theory's core values, that is, strong communication between communities, inclusive of traditions and cultures, and encouraging structures that protect the individuals and parties involved. However, it is important to acknowledge the associated disadvantages, such as it is slow, change in values and attitudes normally do not correspond with structural changes, and success is reliant on stable and steady leadership. Thus, the discussed strengths and limitations of community relations theory will assist to develop a strong link between theory and practice regarding conflict resolution.
Conflict has become an increasingly important issue in the workplace, with recent statistics showing that complaints of conflict have risen so significantly that resolution requirements have become part of the workplace legislative framework. Costs of conflict resolution are significant within businesses and individuals, yet are often hidden. However, the most difficult cost to calculate is the distress that people in the community go through that could have been prevented beforehand. According to the Productivity Commission in 2010, conflict at work costs Australian organisations between $6 to $36 billion a year in lost productivity. Moreover, nearly half of Australian employees experience serious incidents of conflict. These experiences often have negative impacts from work and are often correlated with job dissatisfaction. According to the report, Workplace Conflict and How Businesses Can Harness It to Thrive, the following statistics demonstrate how pervasive conflict is in the workplace, whereby 85% of employees deal with conflict on some level, 49% of a conflict is a result of personality clashes, 34% of conflict is caused by stress and a heavy workload, 27% of employees have witnessed conflicts which lead to personal attacks, 25% of employees have seen conflict result in sickness or absence, and 9% have seen workplace conflict cause a project to fail. An increasing focus on the importance of effective conflict resolution has developed over the years due to our ever-changing environment and society, which require values of acceptance and tolerance towards others. The community relations theory is imperative in developing a strong sense of open-mindedness and patience in order to understand and respect others in a community, as teamwork by its nature is often made up of a diverse group of people with a wide variety of needs, expectations, and perspectives. Due to this, Recent studies have found that almost all members of the community recognize the critical need for conflict management skills, with 70% recognizing conflict management as an important leadership skill, and 54% believing that conflict is more effective when underlying tensions are addressed immediately at the time they surface rather than later on. Furthermore, research shows that of the employees who receive dispute resolution and conflict management training, 76% experience or achieve positive outcomes from engaging in conflict resolution. This is furthered, whereby 41% of the community developed a better understanding of others after engaging in conflict resolution, and 29% were able to find a better solution to the workplace problem after engaging in conflict resolution. Overall, conflict can stimulate progress when managed effectively. This progress achieves the development of trust and strengthens relationships, which ultimately improves productivity and bottom line results.
My slides involve exploring a case study about conflict resolution in the workplace. The case study involves a new supervisor taking over a department divided into two conflicting groups. The groups are extremely resistant to working out their differences and have a very us versus them mentality. The previous supervisor knew about this extreme tension on the team, yet chose not to step in. The new supervisor, however, has two options. The first, the easy option, to let the groups continue to feud until they decide to work the conflict out themselves, which also runs a high risk of having an unsuccessful team. Or the new supervisor has the harder option, which is what he did instead. The new supervisor went to a seminar to learn about his personal styles of resolving conflicts and then intervened in an informed and calm manner. His intervention and its effects involved improving communication and setting a standard procedure to resolve the tensions. First, he set weekly team and individual staff meetings to provide information in a streamlined way and also get feedback in a transparent environment. The team meetings also fostered togetherness. He then had the department create a handbook of procedures where everyone on the team got involved and could give their input, which then eased the tensions and allowed everyone's voice to be heard while also creating a guideline for the future of the department. Thus, by improving communication and standardizing workplace behaviors, the new supervisor successfully used the theory of conflict resolution to dissolve the tensions in his department.
The presentation has summarized that conflicts are very common and detrimental to employees' productivity, and managers need to understand the merits of community relations theory of conflict to prevent and deal with the conflicts effectively, but they should also consider its pitfalls. This theory is vital as it leads to enhanced communication, understanding, and cooperation between members of the conflicting groups, while increasing their tolerance and acceptance of diversity in the society. The argument is imperative as diversity plays a crucial role in building teams, and this theory supports the rights of all members of a team. As individuals have a more in-depth understanding of how others feel and think, they will empathize with them and change the way they collaborate, which could lead to decrease in overall tension, healthy working environment, and stronger relationships. Even though the approach helps individuals to manage the conflict and live happily in the same community, it doesn't focus on ending the main issue, that is, intergroup differences. Another major problem is that the process of resolving is slow, as changing values and attitudes are not directly affected by structural changes. Moreover, there is a heavy dependence on consistent leadership, as we saw in the role of the supervisor in the case study for the success of the resolution.